So good morning, everybody. It's still morning. It's with respect to ERPNext. It's because ERPNext is used across the world. And at this point in time, there is morning somewhere where ERPNext is in use. So it makes sense for us to acknowledge that ERPNext is used globally. It is used in different parts of the world, and that it is necessary to understand what can be done to make it use in a better manner. So, Mayank, welcome to Tanzania. You like traveling, you'll enjoy there. But we have a lot of time. So, the second hobby of yours may not be so much applicable. Um, Thanks, Umer, for setting the tone this morning for the partner ecosystem. It makes a lot of sense, and it helps me to reduce my talk. And because it's about ERPNext today, I'll continue with the next slide. And to make sure that you focus on me, we have blanked out the screen. I hope it comes back. Right, that's it. That's it. So, it's fine. So, thank you all for listening to this talk. It's almost over. Um, the first thanks goes to my partner Mitesh Choksi, who discovered Frappe and ERPNext back in 2019, 2018. And after 2 or 3 hours of checking as to what it's all about, it made sense. After having so many years of finding out something which reduces the amount of coding to be done and reduces the time it takes to get stuff to the user. Because the user is in the context here, it doesn't matter what the management of the company wants. If the user is happy, everything works. Thanks to Frappe for making this brilliant framework and working very hard in the initial days to continue make an ERP system which now we are all benefiting from. It's also important to acknowledge that customers trust us. They trust us to a product, which is amazing from our point of view, but from them point of view, it was not even existing because we are introducing it to them. So the customers bears big importance there. The whole of Aakvatech team that we have, which we managed to move around with the product in multiple customer bases. And we have been blessed with very friendly developers who have helped us throughout the journey to date. And I would want to acknowledge them. They are not Aakvatech, but we started with Bhavesh Maheshwari, who helped us to get started with the development. We didn't know anything about development then. We have the Yusuf Restom, the awesome guy who is doing POS awesome. And obviously we have Sagar Vora at times when we fell short of gray matter. So we really thank you all to help us throughout our journey. Obviously the family has been bearing all the brunt of me not being available, and the kids and my wife specifically. So let's talk about the Aakvatech. Aakvatech is a Frappe partner, and we are surprisingly gold partners coming from a country which is in Africa. You will notice when I took the screenshot, I don't see India here for some reason. Although I strongly believe that there are many partners in India who are far more capable and far more having lot more customers than what we have. So that's why it was a surprise to us. So we can talk about our journey with Frappe and how we work with ERPNext. So we started in 2019. We went ahead with the operations. In the first year, we had 4 customers, and by the end of the year, there was Frappe conference. In the right time, we got partnership. We got into a bronze partner status at that point in time. The second and the third year, we continue working, and by the third year, we had a good growth, helped us to get more visibility within Frappe ERPNext, and the partner management team helped us to get the lead to help us serve an enterprise customer who was near to us, and also a lot more other Frappe cloud-related benefits we got, and we continued our journey as a silver partner thereafter. Then came in 2022, just a few months back, that we now had a lot more use of the Frappe services, and we put in more credits in the Frappe infrastructure, and we went ahead and became gold partners. So you will notice that there is also a relationship with the way we grew as a partnership level and the revenue we already kept on getting. And we'll see what else we can do further. So we are ERPNext Partners, and there are many of them here. We saw from 20, we grew to 46, isn't it? And it's probably growing more by the time I'm talking. So what do we do? What are partners for? They are meant to add values. They are meant to differentiate ERPNext in the rest of the places that we are taking it to from the run-of-the-mill ERPs. We have to address the local pain points. The local pain points which might be industry-specific or they might be geography-specific. So that's very important to note. There are also things that as partner we do as we go down the line which we believe will be good to have as part of ERPNext or as part of the Frappe framework, and that we want to try it out before we can either contribute or have somebody else contribute or have it been noticed and then be contributed. And obviously we need to have the potential of the marketplace on Frappe Cloud tab. And I will go through these one by one. When it comes to the value addition on ERPNext, we need to know that ERPNext does most of the things out of the box, okay? So what is a partner supposed to do? Just train, implement? Well, training can be done by Frappe School. Implementation is easy. We've been hearing throughout the day that it is so easy for the users, the KT required is less. So what is a partner doing then? We need to add value. We need to add value to make sure that the end user, and I'll keep repeating this, it's not the customer's management or it's the end user who is using the system at the customer's point is happy. That happiness is what we should strive for. And look, the customers come to a partner because they have probably known you or they have seen you working somewhere else or you have been found out from the website. What we are supposed to do is to see how we differentiate. There are so many partners of the competitive ERP systems that we have in the markets. So what are we supposed to do that makes us more, that makes us better than them? And I like the phrase that Colin Powell uses, the healthiest competition occurs when average people win by putting above average effort. So this is what the partners can do. We have seen everybody is equal, right? So then how are you more equal than the other? By putting in a above average effort, and that's what the partner should be doing. And why I'm repeating on the partner side is twofold. Number one, we saw that the Frappe path is to go ahead and have the product being used by multiple customers by the means of a partner. And there is a gap between what a user can do on their own, and there is a need of understanding the product and make it best used by the user. So that is why a partner is important, and that is why we all have to fill that gap with the power of Frappe framework, with the Frappe apps that we have seen, and with our services. Thank you. So the addressing of the local pain points is multifold. You can help simple mundane tasks to be sorted out. We can have the tax compliance to be done. We have seen many examples of them. We have regulatory reporting that is necessary to be addressed. And we also have a very common trend now happening in multiple countries of e-invoicing. So every partner in a different country has a potential of addressing these things in a manner, and that's what I want to show, how it is done by us. So I'll show you this simple doc type that was created. It was to go ahead and look at the Tanzania Police Force website. And It usually is required by the transportation companies or companies with larger fleets to go pick up, check if there are any penalties that has been caused by one of your other vehicles that in your organization. The other way would be the driver would come with the ticket and hand it over to the accounting department. But the drivers sometimes, maybe most of the times, forget to do that. And the companies hire staff. The companies hire staff to get this thing done. So what we did is simple API calls, pick it up, put it in a doc type, and then get it part of a notification to have the email sent out to the relevant department that is handling it. No human intervention, and the information comes to you. So you have things like this available. There are other examples, like we have parking bills as well, whereby we can rely on the portals that are available, and we go ahead and automate this as well. Simple things, big difference. There are also regulatory reporting compliance that we have in our areas and of geography of operations. And we have the repository of all the ready reporting done, just like the compliance we have heard about. We've heard about it from the German example. We heard about the India compliance. There's a Swiss as well. And we also have Tanzanian compliance, which was one of the second, third app on marketplace. And the Kenya compliance, which just got done by Aakvatech Limited. So yes, this is our obligation, should I say, to the local user base, so that they benefit from the goodness of ERPNext. So what about pre-release functions? So we are doing implementation, and we are lazy. Going into a user role, creating it, adding the doc types that the user role is supposed to be having access to. Then you go down and give access to the dependent doc types for select access or maybe read access, depending upon what the user wants to do. It's time consuming, boring, and I'm sure Mayank can help there. So what we did is we added a facility to automatically add the dependent doc type permissions into the doc type. So when you add sales invoice, the customer access gets granted to the user. The payment terms get access granted to the user. The default text templates get granted to the user, reducing our time that we spent on getting things done. Now internally, we also have a conflict. I have some of my colleagues who don't like it. But that's why we have a checkbox over there to make sure it works or it doesn't work, depending upon the customer that's supposed to be deployed on. So these are the simple things. These are the things that you wish to have, whether it is validated as a general user case or not. This is where to try it out. So you have your customization, which are country specific. It might be noticed by others. It may be useful to others. Then it can get going down into the mainstream product. So we also need to see that all these things that we are doing as partners, how are we going to benefit? So we could have the tapping of the marketplace potential to be used here, get access to the huge Frappe cloud user base that is there, have the potential of the support that we can charge and sustain the development cost, and we can go ahead and use the one-time revenue functionality that I heard Hussein has been working on. So yes, it is possible to have this kind of monetary benefits coming in to sustain your cost and ensure that you don't have a product which dies because not having enough motivation. So Frappe Cloud was introduced, everybody has benefited out of it, and we have also loved that product. And it helps because of the marketplace to now start making some money which is useful for sustaining the development. So I'll give you very quickly through two applications that we have made. We use property management system. It's on marketplace as well. It handles the local taxation rules. It handles the operational processes that are required in the property management industry in Tanzania. It has some features of getting the properties done, lease done, management of the settings and stuff. What is important here, and the time-saving aspect that we have here, is while you define all your properties and you put your cost center over there and indicate which company it is for, because then sometimes it can be multi-company setup for the property, you are then allowed to go ahead and create a lease out of it. It's not so much visible though, but you have a lease item table where you say it is a rent, there's a maintenance, there's a cleaning charge on a monthly basis. You give a frequency. Once you let it run at the scheduled task at night, it will go ahead and create all the relevant invoices for that particular day, that for anybody or any of the customers which are supposed to be charged. So that is one of the solutions there. The other one we have done is the hospital management system. We worked extensively with the Frappe team and the Earthians to see how we can get it up and running, especially the insurance integration that we have in Tanzania. So these are examples that we have here as to how a process of an organization in Tanzania is slightly different than what an out-of-the-box process comes with, what a partner should do to understand the process, see what are the differences there, identify the differences, and then go ahead and make the solution so that it makes it easy for the user. So I would say that there are many things that we have done. All these things are with the objective to reduce time for the user to make use of the system. And that is what a partner should be doing as a partner who has more knowledge about ERPNext, and we let the users benefit out of it. Many such screenshots continue in terms of how the automatically delivery notes are created for a pharmacy to be picking up and then pass it on. So automatically the stocks are updated, the stock in hand is updated, and so on. All these things that we have done, they are all open source, obviously, and we have the links over here. We also have transport management that is also open source. It will be /transport, and there is also a garage service management which is open source, which is service management transport. So we believe that it's more headache to handle licensing than to have it open source.